and I'm headed home. And the vehicle in front of me, I'm doing about 60, and he just flew by me on this country road. Yeah. The speed limit through here is about 55. I just didn't realize that I had my foot into it a little bit. So the other day when I was on a live, I was telling the host of that live about how you can ask your assistant, your computer assistant, or either on your phone, your computer, or whatever. She had a Siri, and on my phone I have Bixby, but my parents have one that's set up to like keep the temperature, the same temperature in the house, and do other things. Well, you can say, hey Google, tell me a joke, and Google will tell you a joke. So I was telling her about this, and I, was a little more specific, and I said, ask Siri if she'll tell you a John Deere joke. And she asked Siri, and Siri said something to the, something like, I don't have the programming for that, or something like that. So I said, add the word tractor in there. And so she added the word tractor in there. And that didn't work either. So I was playing around with Google at my mom and dad's house. And I found the only way that you can get farmer jokes is by using the word farmer. Tell me a farmer joke. So you know what joke that Google came up with for the very first joke? Do you know what's invisible and smells like carrots? Bunny farts. I remember telling that joke when I was a little kid. I thought it was hysterical back then. It was kind of funny when Google said it, because, I totally wasn't expecting it to come up with that joke. Anyway, I thought that was kind of funny, and I wanted to share that with you. I do like those corny dad jokes. And as I see a new one, and I think it's funny, I share it. I'm trying to think of one that I saw recently, and without looking at them, I can't remember it. I would ruin the punchline. were talking about different movies and stuff, and Mom and Dad were trying to recall this actor's name that was in a movie. And so they asked Google that. And the response on that was pretty funny too. It said, there are 30 main characters in that movie. I'll name the first 3. And so Dad said, tell me more. And Mom said, no, don't tell me more. Yeah, I can see where that would be kind of humorous. Personally, I keep my Bixby thing on mute. Because there's a lot of those things out there that, they listen to you all the time. And I think that's baloney. I don't want something to listen to me all the time. It's kind of creepy, too. Going to change again tomorrow. It's going to go back to being wet and cold. In North Albany that was an English tutor. I don't know how I'm sure life would have been a lot different if we would have went ahead and got that home, but I'll tell you, I'm so glad that we didn't. Because for me, coming out on these country roads and going out to the country and not having to fight a bunch of traffic and just a lot of people is so much more relaxing and comfortable to me than it was when I was living in Albany. One of the reasons too why I wanted out of where we were living at were living in a house that we had first right of refusal on. And, of course, it was not the ideal home, but it wasn't a bad home. And for the price that we would have got it at, we could have made some upgrades and stuff like that. But there were a few other concerns about it that we didn't know how much it was going to cost to have us or have it fixed. So we decided that one of the reasons why we decided to go outside of living in a larger city is I told you before that my youngest brother is a lieutenant with a fire department. Well, he worked in one of the stations that when they got a call, the main direct route was really nearby our home. And every time that fire truck would go screaming by our house, I would just, I would pray and I'd start worrying about where he was going, what he was going to have to fight. It just, of course I still pray for my brother all the time. But it's not something that, whenever I hear a police car or a fire engine or something like that, that I'm worrying about where my brother's at. It doesn't stop me from worrying, though, when he goes out and does wildfires. Because, as you know, those wildfires can just get massive, very hot, dangerous. Several years back, in a town that's not far away from the place that I lived in Central Oregon, is a place called Prineville. And the Prineville Hotshots went to that giant Colorado fire that they had. It's been several years ago. But almost everyone, if not everyone, that was in that hotshot group perished in that fire. They got trapped. They got surrounded. They had to go under their blankets. And they didn't survive. In Prineville, they have a memorial. In Prineville, they have a memorial there, and it's a beautiful memorial for all those firefighters that lost their lives during that fire. So yeah, I'm a little bit of a worrier. I try not to, though. I try to put everything in the Lord's hands and continue on with things. My kids were little, I was married to my first husband, and for a short period of time, he was a volunteer firefighter and EMT. And it was for a rural community where we lived at the time. And he had to go on a call. And I won't go into many of the details, but one of the people were out hiking. The woman got shot. She had what was called a sucking chest wound. And he was trying to save her, and he couldn't. The purpose of telling you that is that you don't have to go off to war to suffer from PTSD. There are other traumatic things that happen in your life that can cause things like that to happen to you. And that's what happened to my ex-husband when he went on that call. It was like his first call that was like that. And he was young. And it was so traumatic on him. I didn't understand it all back then. And so yeah, that just added to all of the issues, the problems that we had already. Later, I found out on top of that all too that he had been diagnosed with being bipolar. And when I found out that, everything just fell into place and made sense to me. So anyways, there is another, reason why that I'm concerned about firefighters and EMTs and first responders. I respect them very much. It's a very hard job. That you either have speed demons that are driving through here, or you have ones that can't drive 40 miles an hour. And what's ironic about that too is we used to call those slow drivers Sunday drivers. Well, I'm going to end this video right here. Thank you for coming along on this part of the Sunday Drive. Have a great day. Thanks. And I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.